Thank you for those that have already joined. We'll get started a few minutes after the hour, just to give an opportunity for everyone to join. Thank you for those that have already joined. We're just going to give it 1 or 2 minutes and we'll get started. Okay, I think we'll get started. So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on Unlock True Potential of Third-Party Data with Intelligent Integrations. This is the second session. The last session we did with Amir last week. So I'm just going to introduce our presenters today. So that's Taslimka Tadvi, our lead product manager, and John Ahern, our principal solutions marketing manager. They will go through the slides. We will also use the Zoom Q&A. We won't be opening up for live Q&A today. So if you do have any questions during the presentation, for the purpose of the recording, we will leave everyone muted, but do use the Q&A section for any questions you may have. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to John to get us started.
Thanks, Samantha. Yeah, and really excited to be joining today's webinar on intelligent integrations. It's a great topic. It really is one of the strengths of our BMC Helix solution, and I'm really looking forward to getting going with it. So as Samantha said, I'm a principal solutions marketing manager here in BMC, and primarily I look after the AIOps portfolio, so our operations management portfolio. So that's kind of my remit. As Samantha said about questions as well, please do feel free to put questions into the Q&A section or the chat section. We'll be monitoring those and answering those. we'll get to our questions towards the end of today's session, but really excited to get going. And I'd like to hand over to my co-host Taz, who's going to introduce himself and kick us off today.
Hey, all right. Hey, thanks, John, and thanks, Samantha. Well, I welcome everyone for this webinar. My name is Taslimka Tadvi, and I am the lead product manager for BMC Helix Intelligent Integrations. So the topic for our today's discussion is unlock true potential of third-party data with intelligent integrations. So before we begin our webinar today, I just wanted to spend few seconds so that the audience can read through the legal notice. All right, so let's get started. What we are going to discuss today is, first of all, we'll understand what are the typical challenges of having integrations with multiple third-party tools. Then we'll look at how BMC Helix Intelligent Integrations helps to overcome those challenges. What are the connectors that are supported today with intelligent integrations? What are the benefits that customers get out of those connectors? How to configure a particular connector, and then we'll go into the demo of the intelligent integrations, and then we'll take the questions at the end of the session. So let's begin our session. When we typically interact with our customers, the thing that we get to hear often is customers have multiple products from various third-party vendors. What customers requires is to understand how that data can be unified and used to get more insights out of it. If you look at some of the research reports as well published or available in the public domain from notable third-party vendors such as Gartner's or IDC's or Forrester's or GigaOm or others as well, typically what they say is that organizations have somewhere between 3 to 16 to 20 third-party tools that they use for various monitoring purposes. And that's the huge number of tools that the organizations have. And they have to maintain various teams to manage those tools, invest in resources, and spend time for understanding and monitoring and handling issues from those third-party tools. So the typical challenges that customers talks about is the data is not consolidated. Whenever there is an issue, the NOC teams have to reach out and understand where the issue exactly exists, which tool that they need to look into, and different teams for different tools, they get they get on a call and discuss where exactly the problem is. And that is where the data tracking is segregated. There is no data management, unified data management as such. Every tool maintains its own data, so you have to look through each and every tool and then try to figure out where the exact problem lies. And that's actually time taking, from the enterprise perspective. It also impacts on the resources and the efforts and time that is spent to understand where the problem lies. And then on top of it, when the problem is understood, they also the different teams also have to collaborate to solve that problem. So it requires the additional efforts, cost, and resources from multiple teams within an organization. And one more challenge is that we get to hear is about the integration. Even if it is available, there are some tweaks and changes that are required, and that that results into manual scripts creation or manual integration handling, which again is time taking and takes the resources as well. So considering all these challenges, what customers typically requires is the ability to integrate the variety of data and put it into a single console, so that the insights from that console or insights from those data can be derived. And on top of that, if the integration mechanism is very simple and easy to execute, that becomes very handy for our customers. So once you get to know these challenges, this is where the BMC Helix Intelligent Integrations comes into the picture. If you look at the diagram on the right-hand side, the intelligent integrations connects to various third parties, and it gets data from those third parties, processes that data, and ingests that data into BMC Helix platform products. Now, what are those products? BMC Helix Operations Management, BMC Helix AIOps, that is Service Monitoring, and BMC Helix Discovery. So the data goes into these products, and then that helps to produce and insights based on the data. Now, what type of data that we support as of today? So the data that is supported is matrix, events, and topology. So for a particular connector, whatever of these data types that we support today, customers will be able to configure that. And in fact, we have given more provisions to specify some of the filtering parameters as well. So for example, if a customer wants to ingest an event data, but not from all the hosts that are being monitored from a third party, but let's say a set of hosts or a group of hosts. So that is possible with the help of filtering ability that we have provided. So that's the way you can filter out data, and then that filtered data can be sent into the BMC Helix platform suite. The another highlight of this product is the automated topology reconciliation. Even if the particular host or particular device or particular CI is being monitored by multiple third-party tools, when we fetch that data and ingest that data into BMC platform, we reconcile that data. So you will not see multiple entries or multiple devices into BMC products. You will see that data reconcile, and then that helps to solve the problem when an issue occurs. And on top of it, when we use that data to generate insights, this is where our flagship product BMC Helix AIOps comes into the picture, which showcases where the problem lies and how to remediate that problem, and how to solve issues quickly. So the typical benefits that the intelligent integrations product provides is ease of integrations, because we support multiple third-party products. So you don't have to create multiple integrations. It's just one product, and then you are okay to get all that data into BMC Helix platform. Reduction in cost. You don't have to maintain different teams for each of the third-party products and monitoring those products. So you can save on that cost and save on that manpower, and assign that manpower to some other tasks as well. And of course, ease of management. It's very simple and easy to configure. So that is where it helps to easily configure intelligent integrations and get data into BMC Helix platform. Now that's about the high level overview of how the product works. But you may say that what are the connectors that we are supporting today. So we are supporting more than 25 plus connectors as of today. Some of them that I have mentioned over here, for example, AppDynamics, AWS CloudWatch, Catchpoint, Datadog, Dynatrace, Intuity, Micro Focus and NMI, Prometheus, SolarWinds, NPM, Splunk, VMware, VROps, Zabbix. But then you can also go through the complete list of connectors that we support as of today into the link that I have mentioned on the screen. Now, moving on, there might be a question that comes to your mind, that what's the value that customers will get out of the integrations once they configure it? And that is where I want to elaborate multiple benefits that can help to understand, identify the problem, and then mitigate the problem as well. So let's look it through. The first and important benefit is around event management. If there are multiple tools, multiple teams are monitoring it, there is no consolidated view. So even if a particular host is being monitored by a couple of more third parties, when the problem occurs, nobody knows where to look for. Each team looks into their own console. They try to figure out where the problem lies, and then they realize that we need to collaborate. Then there is a collaboration call. Everybody gets on the call. They try to figure out where exactly the problem lies. It's a long process, and that is where the improved event management comes into the picture. When we have the aggregated data, it produces a comprehensive IT monitoring view and reduces the number of false positive, because we are aggregating the data from multiple sources. And in this way, it helps to reduce noise from generating events for the same problem from multiple sources. Next couple of benefits are related. These are related to data correlation as well as root cause identification and analysis. So what happens is, when the data from multiple sources, let's say Dynatrace, AppDynamics, Splunk, all three of them are monitoring some entities, some hosts. Once that data gets inserted into our platform, BMC Helix service monitoring, that is AIOps, comes into the picture. And whenever there is a problem, it aggregates that data and showcases you where exactly the problem lies. Now, if you see in the particular screenshot over here, there is a service called Easy Travel, and it seems to be in not in a good condition. It seems to be in affected status. Now, if you have to figure out where actually the problem lies, you can see that the root cause analysis tab, and you can see that the list of hosts there. The first host is being monitored by Dynatrace, and you can see that there are 3 problems listed, which are probable cause for affecting this particular service. And that's how easy it becomes when you can get that data aggregated into a single platform. You don't have to leave this particular screen. You are able to find out where the problem lies, and you will be able to mitigate from this particular screen. Moving on, the next benefit is around predictive intelligence. When we create services within our BMC Helix service monitoring, that is AIOps, the important factor that we take into consideration is the data that is coming from metrics. And we allow our customers to define mission critical metrics which are aligned to a particular service, and we monitor that particular metrics with the historical data, and predict that when a particular service may get affected because the matrix is going to go down. So here in this particular screen, if you see that the Apex Global Service has a particular matrix called NUK CPU that is being monitored for this service. And if you see that the particular impact is going to happen in next 3 minutes, and that is where you see in the graph as well, the red dot over here, that this service might get affected in next 3 minutes. That alerts our NOC engineers to proactively look at this service and check whether everything is fine with this service or not. And that's how you can mitigate the problem even before they occur. That's where the power of integration of data lies. Moving on, the next important aspect of the data integration is remediation of the problems. We also have one of the product called BMC Helix Intelligent Automation that connects to other third-party data and products. It fetches the policies and workflows from there, and those can be used to remediate a problem. Now, with the same example, if there is a service that is affected, and you see that a particular event needs to be mitigated, so you can click on the number of automations that are available to remediate this particular problem. As you can see in the screenshot here on the pop-up, you see that there are 2 automations available. You can go ahead and run one of that automation which is applicable for this problem resolution of the available space problem. Once that automation runs, your problem is going to get addressed, and the service will be back to its original health score. That's how easy it becomes when you have the connected product ecosystem and the data that is integrated from multiple third parties. And so you might be wondering that, how can you utilize these benefits in terms of configuring these integrations? Do we have to configure this integration multiple times? How easy or how complex it is to configure an integration? You might also say that, we have multiple third-party products. Do we have to come back every day and check those integrations over here? So no, it's very easy and it's very simple. What you have to do as a customer is just have to look at what are the prerequisites for a particular third party that we are supporting today. So for example, if you have Dynatrace in your organization, just look at what are the prerequisites for Dynatrace. Similarly for other connectors as well. Once you are okay with those prerequisites, you have to go to the intelligent integrations UI. You have to configure the connector, specify the username and password over there, configure a few of the settings in terms of data collection. For example, what is the collection schedule? What is the data collection window and data latency? I'll explain these terminologies when we move to the product demo. Once you configure all of these and configure filtering parameters, that what type of data that you want to get into the BMC Helix platform, you just have to do one more step. You have to configure the distributor parameter, that in how many number of batches you want to have that data. Do you want to have parameters specified for the delay related parameters, and so on and so forth. Once you have this configured, and this is most likely one-time configuration, once you do it, you are set, and you can start the data streaming. Once you start the data streaming, the data will start to come into the BMC Helix platform products. So that's how easy it becomes. You just have to understand what the third-party product is, specify the username, password, configure parameters, and then you are good to go ahead. So, so that's regarding the configuration of connector. Now let's go ahead and see the product in action. So I'll switch to the screen. Give me a few seconds. All right. Can someone confirm if the screen is visible?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can see it has. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. So for today's example, what I have done is I have taken the Dynatrace example. We are going to configure the Dynatrace connector. Along with that, we are also going to look at three more things. One is where to see the topology data in BMC Helix discovery, where to view the events and metrics data in BMC Helix operations management, and the benefits that we just talked about, how those are helpful by utilizing BMC Helix operations management. So once you get the product, you will see this particular UI, which is the login portal. You will see all the products that you are entitled to as a customer, and there you can see BMC Helix Intelligent Integrations. So I have kept this product open into a different tab. Before I go there, in what we are going to do today, with the help of Dynatrace is I'm going to look at few of the hosts. As you can see, there is a list of hosts over here. For example, let's pick this particular host, Linux 1 sw.bmc.local. If you look at for this particular host, there are multiple metrics that are being monitored. For example, CPU idle, CPU users, CPU IO wait, traffic out and in, and memory related metrics. We are going to see some of these metrics as part of how we ingest the metric data into our platform. So keep this in your mind. We'll come back to this screen later. So this is one of the hosts that we are going to look at, and there are multiple other hosts that we are going to see. Now, once you launch intelligent integrations, you will come to this the landing page. As you can see, it is very simple. On the left hand side, you can see what are the third-party connectors that you have already configured. For the first time user, of course, the screens will be empty. You will have to configure the connectors. And on the right hand side, you see that where the data is going. So this is nothing but the BMC platform, the destination address, and that is where our data goes into BMC Helix operations management, AIOps, and discovery. So for this example, what I'm going to do is I'll configure the Dynatrace connector. So I'll click on this plus icon over here, and I'll click on the Dynatrace connector over here. I will configure this connector now. Just give me a few minutes and just get the credentials for this one. And I'll give some different name to this, maybe, I don't know, I don't want any specific environment. So I'll go ahead and validate this connector. You just see. Yeah. So the connector authentication has been done. Now, the next step over here is you have to, as a customer, you have to specify what are the different data types that you want to get data into our platform. As a customer, they might choose to have only alerts data, or only metrics data, or only topology data, or some combination of all these three. For demo purpose, I'll keep all three selected by default. Next step is collectors. As I explained, collectors means getting data from third party into BMC Helix Intelligent Integration. That is this product. So let's take an example of alerts. Let's configure the parameters for alerts. So the first parameter is collection schedule. What it means is that for every what time the schedule should run. So I have specified 5 minutes, so that it means that every 5 minutes, this particular collector will run and it will get the alerts data. Next parameter is data collection window. It means that for last how many minutes I want to collect data. I have specified 5 minutes, so that it means that every time this scheduler will run, it will get data for the last 5 minutes. The next parameter is regarding the data latency, which means that if you want to have or specify some delay in data, you can go ahead and specify that as well. I'm keeping the default values for our demo purpose. Along with that, depending on connectors, there are multiple other parameters that customers can configure. So for example, in this Dynatrace case, customers may say that I don't want all the severity data for alerts. I just want, let's say, only critical and major severity alerts data over here. I don't want all the data. So customers can go ahead and select that. For demo purpose, I'll keep the values default for now. Similarly, for matrix as well, the top parameters are same, but there are multiple other parameters based on what Dynatrace supports. For example, customers may say that I don't want data, matrix data for all services. I just want it only for few services or only for few applications. So they can go ahead and specify that. And same thing is true for topology data as well. They can specify that what entity type data that they want to bring in. Now I'll keep the values default for all three of them. and I'll go ahead and create the collectors. All right, you can see that collectors are created. Now we'll go ahead and create distributors. Distributor means once the data is collected, how do you want to distribute that collected data into our BMC Helix platform? So these parameters are same for all three of them. And these are majorly related to batching size and batching controlling. So for example, what is the maximum batch size for the data? So for each batch size, there is a 250 rows of data you can specify. This is the default value. Similarly, what is the batching delay that can be maximum? So they can wait for 3 seconds before fetching another data. What is the retry base retry delay that can be specified? Maximum intra retry delay and maximum retry duration. We have explained all this terminology in our BMC documentation as well. So you can check the detailed explanation in the documentation pages as well. I'll keep the values default for now, and the same for all three of them. So I'll go ahead and create distributors. All right. Now you can see that distributors are created. I'll go ahead and save this particular connector and start data streaming. Excuse me. As you can see, the connector has started. The demo Dynatrace one is something that we have created. And you can see that in visually also, the data for all three of them has started to coming into the BMC Helix platform. What also you can do is you can verify this, or you can see the streaming data into the streams section as well. All right. So here you can see that this demo Dynatrace is something that we have created for alert, for metrics, and for topology. And you can see that it has run as soon as we started, and it has fetched 16 items in terms of alerts, 7,000 plus items in terms of metrics, and 3,000 plus items in terms of topology. So that is how easy it becomes. You can see that the items have started coming in, and you can visualize that data now into the BMC platform products. So let's get into that. Let's start with BMC Helix discovery, where we'll see that how to visualize the topology data. So I'll move on, and customers can go ahead and launch BMC Helix discovery from the Helix portal website. I have kept it open over here. All right. So we'll take the same example, the host that we have taken, linux1.sw.bmc.local. What I've done is I have searched that particular host from the search bar, and I can see that there is one host that is present, and there are software instances that are associated are also present. So let's check what data it has brought into BMC Helix discovery. So I'll click on this host data, and we'll see that what's the data that discovery has pulled into. All right, looks like it's taking longer than usual. Let me try to search it again. Yeah. So it brings all the data over here. You can see that the details of the particular host are available. What software clusters that it is part of, what software instances it is associated with, and rest of the other information as well. For example, OS details and the other details as well. The most important part over here is the topological view. You can see that the green dot over here this is the Linux one host, and you can see that how it is associated with all the other software instances that are available on that particular host. So that's how easy it becomes in terms of looking at the data, analyzing the data and its relationship with the other types of or kinds of hosts as well. Now let's look at where to look at the events and metrics data. So we'll now go to the BMC Helix Operations Management Console, and here once you are on the landing page, here you can see that there are the events that are coming in, and if you see the class of this particular event, it says that Dynatrace alert. So you can see some of the example where the Dynatrace, the host name is also mentioned over here in some of the events as well. So that is how you can verify, or you can see that the data from Dynatrace is coming into the platform. Now for Matrix, what you have to do as a customer is you have to click on the monitoring tab and go into devices. Let's look at multiple hosts that we are monitoring. For example, the same one that we looked topology for Linux one, sw.local. For this host, there are a couple of metrics that are available. Let's look at CPU related metric. Yes, you can see some data over here. The CPU IO wait time and CPU steal time. This is exactly same from some of these metrics, CPU steal time and IO wait time. So that's how you can see that the data from Dynatrace is coming into BMC Helix operations management as well. If you want, we can also try to look at, let's say, some of the other server as well. Let's say WebFE01. This is also being monitored by Dynatrace, and there are some of the other metrics that are being monitored. And you can see a nice visualization of the data as well over here. So that's how easy it becomes. Once the data that is coming from third parties, you don't have to leave a particular screen. All the data is present over here, and you can do your analysis on top of it. Now let's look at what this data in combination brings the value for our customers. So that's where we'll now switch to the BMC Helix Service Monitoring Console. Here I'll take an example where what I've done for the demo purpose is there is an application that we have created, the service for an application we have created that is Train Prod. And that Train Prod application has a web server, it has a web application, it has some application services as well, it has some database, some hosts underlying it. So it's a proper application that is running. Now in this, you see that as a NOC engineer, you come to know that a particular train application web server is not running well. It is impacted as the health score is very low. It is 44 only out of 100. So it means that it is impacted. So what to do now? So NOC engineers can click on the particular web, the train web server, and they can see that this particular visualization. On top of this particular screen, they can see that the health score is 44. Of course, that means that the service is affected. There are impacting events for this particular service. If you click on that number, you can see that what are the events that are getting impacted. If you have multiple tools, as I have configured for the demo purpose, it has events from Dynatrace as well as Nagios, one of the tools that we support, and from the other tools as well. So it becomes very easy to understand where exactly the problem lies. In terms of topological graph as well, you see that WebFE01, the server that we just saw in BMC Helix operations management as well, WebFE02, both of them are affected. In terms of service hierarchy also, you see that this is affected, and because of this, the trend web application is affected. So that's how you can figure out that the impact is percolating to its child as well. So then what to do? Now we know that there is an impact. There are events which are, impacting this particular service. Then what are the next steps? How to identify where the exact problem lies? That is where our analyze root cause section comes into the picture. Here you can see that the AI ML based algorithm that is used by BMC Helix Service Monitoring, that is AIOps, has already identified where the probable root cause is. So what it says is that on this particular host, this particular event is getting impacted. This is the event. This could be a potential culprit for causing this service to go down. Similarly, there could be a possibility on the second host where this particular service content is not loading, and that's why it is also affecting this particular train web server service. So that's how easy it becomes when you have the combined data, aggregated data from multiple sources. You can easily identify what exactly is causing this problem. Now, this was the particular host from Dynatrace. So we understand that the data from Dynatrace is also being utilized for identifying the root cause of this particular problem. Now, NOC engineers have identified the problem. Now, what do they have to do? Do they have to call some other teams and identify this particular host where this particular event is getting affected, or they have to collaborate with some other teams to solve this problem? No, we are making their lives easy as well. So what we are also providing is the remediation part. Now, what NOC engineers can do is, you can see that for automation, remediating this particular event, there are two automations available. These automations are already configured by the automation team in this particular organization. And once we see the similar kind of events, these automations appear. So user can click on the automations which are available, and they see this kind of a pop-up where they see that there are two options available, and one of that can be run, and it will mitigate this particular problem. So that's how easy it becomes to identify the problem, to figure out what automation actions to run, and once you run that particular automation action, this particular problem gets mitigated. So the mean time to resolution for a problem comes down from days to within minutes, with the help of BMC Helix Intelligent Integrations and BMC Helix AIOps. So that's all I wanted to cover from the intelligent integrations and its benefit point of view. This is a very simple and easy to configure tool. You just have to look at what are the third parties that you want to configure, and you have to specify some of the parameters, and then you are good to go ahead and resolve your problems within minutes. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover. Hope